Great to meet you, Mr. Bates.
How you doing today?
Excellent, excellent. How did you come up with the theme to Guardians of the Galaxy? Which I heard in that clip, and I thought, well, this is cool. It's got that feeling of uplift superhero, but then it's, you know, Rocket's doing his thing, and I think I'm starting to hum along with it. I thought, I've got to ask him how he came up with that. So it's like, I thought this, you know.
All right, so Guardians, you know, James and I have known each other a long time. This is our third film together, although he wrote Dawn of the Dead, and I did Dawn of the Dead, and that's where I met him. But we wanted to work together in advance to filming the film so that he could shoot to some music, and he shot to a little music on his last movie that we did. This one we really wanted to do it. So I wrote this one theme, which is called Black Tears, and it's that way on the soundtrack as well. And we thought that was the Guardians theme. You know, it's really bold and heavy, but it's a little bit bittersweet, you know. And so then fast forward to say the beginning of March, and he calls me up, and it's a Saturday, and my whole team, we're all just like working crazy hours. He's like, dude, he's like, okay, Black Tears, amazing, but I don't think it's the Guardians of the Galaxy theme.
No. Wait, what time in the morning was this? Did you got that?
No, I remember distinctly. This was like 2 in the afternoon. It was like irritable time, you know. And he had just said earlier that day that he wanted me to look at one scene and maybe do some kind of a rock interpretation of something for it. So I was holding the guitar when he called, and he says, I want you to create a theme that a 4-year-old could sing, but is deep in emotion and bold. And so we hung up. So literally in about 10 minutes, I just played it on guitar, which I don't normally do when I'm scoring, even though I am a guitar player. And then I typed it out in there.
Why did you turn to the guitar? Just out of anger?
It was in my hands already when he called. So then I just literally did a crude sketch of this theme and sent it to him. And I had sent him another one that I thought was the one, like a different one. And I'm sure the other one was going to be better. And he called me and he says, dude, that second one is it. I'm like, are you serious? Really? Because I thought, that's just too easy in a way, you know? Because I thought I'd have to spill some blood to get to the next one, because I worked my ass off on the first theme, you know, the Black Tears theme, you know? So, it's like, no, that's it. That's the Guardians theme. I know it. And, all right. So then I started infusing the melody into other cues in the film, and then when we got to that kiln sequence where it's first fully realized, that's where it came out. That's where they're escaping the prison.
I was going to ask you, Gunn's been in the news all the time about how he's been working on this film, like talking about the 3D, and just like he's been so amiable about it. So I wanted to know, like, how was he with working with the score? Does that translate into him? You know, obviously, you know, he's calling you at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to change things. Is it the same thing there, or because you've worked on so many films together, you can kind of anticipate what he's going to ask you to do with this?
And this is a different stratosphere for our collaboration. The other movies were much more low key. It's different when you step into a movie that costs what this one costs. Everything is amplified, and there's just so much more to making this film. I mean, the visual effects are just ridiculous. Did you see it?
Yeah.
So with the development of the visual effects, the music then has to respond to that, because you're seeing a new depth and color and events. Like I remember him calling me once. It's like, what the fuck? He says, you got to demarcate the moment when Quill's ship hits that other space pod. I said, James, I have a pencil drawing. I don't see it on my picture. Like, you got to walk me through the sequence if there's something like that. Like, all right, so we're gonna send you the time code when he actually hit. I'm like, okay, great. So there's that, and they're changing the picture all the time, and you have to keep the music as current as possible, because the music is being cultivated by the nature of the frenetic picture editorial of the film. So it's all hands on deck, crazy hours.
And it's so new. You know, this is a new thing for Marvel. It's, you know, it's completely different from any film they've done before. So much more pressure on you with the theme to do that? Oh my God.
I'm just thinking, I'm going to disappoint everybody. I don't want to so badly. I want to do something that's really substantive and soulful and transcendent to people.
Frankly.
You think so?
Yeah.
Man, thank you so much.
I was actually quite surprised, and I can explain why I say that. Because Guardians of the Galaxy is a new property for Marvel to bring to the screen. It is new in the Marvel universe, relatively speaking, and so there's this question: what's the music going to sound like, and how will it hit me when I hear it? And I don't know if this was intended. It sounded to me like you were trying to achieve a balance between a superhero sound, but then also the sound of, hey, my God, look what these guys or gals also are doing at once, like this discovery, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is that all the characters are heavy-hearted. They all have pretty tragic events that have, from their past, that have shaped them to become the people that they are, and they're all guarded. And they finally open up to each other for the first time in their adult lives, to really open up. And I wanted the music to be imbued with that earnest emotion. Like Peter Quill, it's like my mom was a huge music enthusiast. That's part of how I write music too. I never listened to film music. When I was 4 years old, I was listening to Frank Zappa, Isaac Hayes, John Coltrane, and occasionally like Tchaikovsky or something. And from then on, my music taste has always been eclectic. But my mother, she died in an accident when I was fairly young, and the culture of that music has stayed with me. So when I read the script, it just blew my mind. And so that was inherent in the music.
I gotta ask you, we're gonna do that Black Keys version. Are you gonna see that someplace else? The theme that you didn't get a chance to use that turned over to.
Oh no! Black Tears is there.
Black Tears. I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's in there.
It's in there. Okay.
When they all grab hands together at the end.
Oh, okay.
And before the Guardians theme actually kicks in, it's that music there, and it's in the piano theme in the hospital in the beginning, and in the loser scene when they're talking about the plan, and that's my daughter who was 12 playing piano.
Oh, wow.
She went to Capitol Studios and did the session. It's pretty awesome. That's nothing for her to play that, but it's pretty. If I had done something like that at 12, I'd have been like, oh my God. She's a serious musician, but it was cool. It's great to share moments like that.
Dumb question. Have we gotten to a point? Vin Wheels.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
You guys
thanks. Have we gotten to a point where when someone calls from Marvel, you say, this is my tentpole music, and therefore you're under tremendous pressure to make something that might last a generation? Because there is that opportunity, right?
Yeah. I can't look at it that way, because then I think I might miss the point. I have to just excuse myself of all these preconceived notions and just try and allow something to come into my soul and hopefully express it in a way that makes sense for the movie and people can identify with it. That it has some sort of memorable, lasting feeling. But if I start getting into that other stuff, I don't even know how I don't even know what I would do.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.